just offer to share that surplus, whatever surplus that you have. Even if it's a surplus good mood. If you have a little extra good mood that day and your neighbor looks like they could use a little bit of your surplus, share that good mood, share a laugh, share a smile. Set up any kind of rain barrel. Any kind of rain barrel. Even if you don't have a rain barrel. If you have an old trash can. Even if you don't have a trash can, if you have like a little bucket, set up anything that is underneath the place on your roof that usually dumps a ton of water onto the ground and makes a puddle during a rainstorm. Set up anything. It could rain today. I mean, you know how it is around here. It's not raining for 6 months and then suddenly it's raining. So anything that you can set up that might collect some water. Or else, when it starts raining, go right out there with anything. A little bucket, a little jug, anything. Collect water. I've been known to stand under the roof with a cup and collect it and drink it. It tastes good, I don't think that stuff on roofs is worse than whatever chemicals the city puts in our water. It's all stuff. It's all out there. If I see visibly disintegrating shingles and there's like large chunks of possum droppings in there or something, I'm not going to drink it. But other than that, it's good stuff. So set up some kind of rain barrel. Get rid of something. Does anybody have spare stuff that they could probably afford to get rid of? I mean, all right, I live in a 19-foot trailer. I have been on a downsizing path for most of my life. What did I find yesterday? College of William and Mary, 1693. English Literature, 301. This is circa 1983, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. What is it doing in my trailer? I don't know, but I'm going to actually use this paper. But there's a lot of stuff I can afford to get rid of. And getting rid of stuff frees up your attention and energy. Has anybody experienced that? Yeah. Who's gotten rid of something recently? What did you get rid of?
My ex-old lady.
His ex-old lady.
That was very free.
Frees up a lot of attention. Well, and the thing is, and not to make light of anybody's relationships, but even the relationships in our lives go through transition. And sometimes holding someone in a certain relationship can suck a lot of energy. And so letting go of that person can be very freeing. Getting ready for a garage sale,
and then I took all my school papers and I put it in the recycling and I took some of it and used it for my worm bin.
Oh, nice. So yeah, getting rid of some papers and using them in her worm bin. Recycling them on site in Mother Nature's recycling area. Excellent. So just get rid of something. We've all got stuff to get rid of or share. One of the sneakiest ways I have of getting rid of stuff is give something away as long as I can borrow it back sometimes. I don't use this all the time, but can I use it sometimes? And usually it's fine. Whether it's a tool that you don't use that much, but you might use sometimes, or a kayak. God, you never get down to the river, but you got this kayak. Let your neighbor use it. You can both use it together, and still it's going to sit idle sometimes. No one's going to be using it all the time.
Clothing swaps 4 times a year.
Clothing swaps. A lot of people are really getting into clothing swaps. That's a fun thing you can do at your little power down neighborhood soirees. You can bring over your clothes and light up the candles and kerosene lanterns and have a clothing swap. You can set up a free box, which is, it's an ongoing clothing swap. It's a big box. A lot of times they'll have them at universities or other places.
We have one here.
You have a free box here?
Yep.
Where is it?
In the kitchen.
Neat.
Or the dining room.
Cool, like an employee free box.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very cool thing. That builds community and really uses resources efficiently. This is another extra bonus points. Turn off your AC and then observe what the pets do and observe what you do. Observe what works well in the morning and what works well in the evening. Observe why some cultures like siestas.
Yeah, I don't live in air conditioning, and one thing that I have found that really helps is I have bought the blackout material and some of that behind my curtains. And so the window that will go up, I raise that, and then across the window I have that. And during the day I will pull that back and forth, depending on the sun.
Yeah.
So that helps cool the house.
That's cool. A guy I know who had hail damage to his roof, you know, the whole neighborhood was getting reimbursements to fix their roofs, and he took the opportunity to make a double roof on his place, like a dual layered tin roof, I believe it was. And so air is circulating through those layers, and the temperature in the house dropped by 10 or 15 degrees right away. And he put some kind of, he put something in the middle, like some kind of silver, another thing, a silver reflectant thing that
Radiant barrier.
provided
barrier.
What's it called?
Radiant heat barrier.
The heat barrier, radiant heat barrier. And so immediately the temperature dropped by 10 or 15 degrees. So there's lots of neat stuff that we can do that won't be available to us unless we're willing to observe. Because if I'm kicking back in the cool 68-degree air conditioning, I'm not going to be, my powers of observation aren't going to be sufficient to discern those kinds of things. What else can you do? I already said observe sun patterns, and then start learning another skill. Like whatever your next skill is, whether it's canning or knitting or spinning or carpentry, find something that really excites you, not something you feel like you should know, that you're a bad person for not knowing, but something that excites you, that is relevant to one of those basic human needs: food, water, shelter, transportation, and community. Learn that thing and share it. And you'll be practicing permaculture. And you've practiced permaculture today by coming to this talk, and I really appreciate you guys being here. And stay in touch by visiting the website, permi.us, or you know, also give me a call. This is the Public Relations Office of the Austin Permaculture Guild, which is currently located here because I'm here. Question?
Yes, how was the term permaculture coined? And what exactly was,
It was coined, Bill Mollison and David Holmgren, these Australian guys, coined it to mean permanent agriculture. They started to observe that agriculture wasn't sustainable. And so they realized, well, we need to start moving toward a sustainable agriculture. We can't just be pumping fertilizer into the earth. We're depleting the soil. We're getting short-term gains and long-term losses. So they envisioned permanent agriculture. They soon realized that agriculture was only part of the equation, and it had to include every single element of culture. So it means permanent culture. Thank you for asking.
that it started permanent agriculture?
It started as permanent agriculture, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Didn't they go to the Middle East and like within 3 years just turn a desert parcel into a thriving?
They did. There's an excellent, it's like a 5-minute video clip, I think. Have you seen it? Greening the Desert. Greening the Desert. Is permaculturist Jeff Lawton. He is a British, I believe he's a British guy who works in Australia. He works all over the world. They went to this really trashed out site in Jordan on the Dead Sea where everything was overgrazed, salt encrusted, sun-baked. All the cultivation was being done in greenhouses with fertilizer at that point. And they went in, they did a lot of mulching, berms, and swales. They planted nurse trees, like shade trees that would nurse the other trees. They had figs and dates growing in like less than a year. And they had, with the mulching, they had addressed the salination of the landscape that had occurred because of irrigation. You know, over-irrigation, all these salts had crusted the landscape, but the mulch helped mitigate that. And they actually had mushrooms growing in the mulch. The locals didn't even know what this thing was. There were fungi, there were mushrooms growing in there.
Bill Mollison has a video series. I don't know what it's called.
Bill Mollison's series is called The Global Gardener.
And he has examples of permaculture all over the world, including the Kalahari Desert, Arizona, Scotland, all kinds of places.
Yeah, he has examples all over the world. The Global Gardener series, there's tropics, there's cool climates, there's deserts. And actually at our permaculture class, we showed some of those Global Gardener clips. They may be available on YouTube. You might be able to see some Mollison clips on YouTube. They're also, if you go to the Permaculture Activist magazine, Permaculture Activist magazine is based in Indiana, and they have an extensive catalog of video and book titles. It's a great resource. And also, I'm impressed with the Natural Gardener's selection of books. Do you guys sell any videos, Rosina?
We don't.
Because a global gardener might be worth, good stuff. Any other questions? Anyone have the time? Perfect. All right. Any more comments or questions, and we'll wrap things up. Well, thank you guys for coming. Stay cool. Drink lots of water and observe your patterns.